nearby, and way off in the distance, maybe south, a larger landmass. But no sign of people, just wild animals. He's truly isolated.
Okay, chapter 9. He has supplies but needs shelter, right?
Right. First, he tries hunting some birds with a gun, but the text says the meat tastes bad. So, food is still a challenge. He realizes he needs to get everything useful off that ship before it breaks up completely.
Makes sense. Maximizes resources.
So he starts making more trips back and forth on his raft. While doing that, he builds a small basic tent near the beach, just somewhere to store the stuff and have minimal shelter.
What else does he bring back from the ship?
More guns, gunpowder, tools, nails, sails for canvas, beds, bedding, candles, even some tea. Anything that looks useful.
Finds money too, doesn't he?
Yeah, quite a bit locked in a box. European money, Brazilian money, and playing cards. Kind of ironic, finding money that's totally useless to him now, though the cards might offer some distraction later.
And then the ship is gone.
Yeah, another storm brews up, prevents him making one more trip. The next morning, he looks out, and the wreck has vanished. Broken up and washed away. That's it. No more supplies from the past.
So now he needs a permanent home.
Exactly. He needs something safer than the beach tent. He starts looking for a better spot, maybe a cave or a place to build something more substantial. Key criteria: near fresh water, defensible, and with a view of the sea, probably still hoping for rescue.
Did he find a good spot?
He finds a promising place, flat ground against the side of a hill, and he immediately starts building a fence, a fortification.
A fence?
Yeah, a semicircle of stakes driven into the ground, sharpened at the top. Crucially, he builds it with no door.
No door. How does he get in and out?
With a ladder. He pulls it up after him when he's inside. Maximum security against animals or anything else.
Clever. And inside the fence?
He sets up 2 tents, a larger one, like an outer layer, to protect the gunpowder and food from rain and sun, and then a smaller inner tent where he actually lives and sleeps, creating layers of protection.
He's really thinking strategically now.
He absolutely is, which leads into chapter 10, where he starts really establishing himself.
What's the first big project?
He starts digging into the base of the hill behind his tents, basically excavating a cave, a cool, dry place for storage.
And the dirt and stone he digs out?
He uses it cleverly. He builds up a kind of terrace or platform inside his fence, makes the living area more level, maybe drier, and strengthens the enclosure. Very practical.
He's still worried about the gunpowder, though.
Yes, especially during a thunderstorm. He gets really worried about lightning hitting it. So he undertakes this painstaking task of dividing it up into smaller bags and boxes and hiding them in different crevices in the rocks inside his cave, spreading the risk.
Smart. Is he managing to find food okay?
He starts hunting more systematically, goats mainly. This gives him meat, but also forces him to explore more of the island, learn the terrain, find where the animals are.
But it's not just about physical survival, is it? The text mentions his loneliness.
Profoundly. He misses his wife, his family back in England, his friends who died. The psychological weight of total isolation starts to really press on him.
How does he cope with that?
He does something really significant. He makes a calendar.
A calendar. How?
He puts up a big wooden post, like a cross, on the beach where he first landed. And every day, he cuts a notch. A longer notch for Sundays, marking the weeks. It's his way of fighting against the timelessness, the drift of days, keeping track, maintaining a link to structure. He marks his first day, September 30th, 1659.
Imposing order on chaos.
Exactly. And he does something else mentally very important. He consciously decides to manage his thoughts. He makes a list.
A list of what?
Like a balance sheet. Bad things on one side, good things on the other. Bad, I'm stranded alone, no clothes, etc. Good. But I'm alive, I wasn't drowned, I have food, I'm safe from predators in my camp, I have freedom from captivity.
Actively focusing on the positive.
Yes. He forces himself to acknowledge the good aspects, however small, and decides to focus on those. It's a deliberate strategy to fight despair. Cognitive reframing, basically.
And does it help?
The text suggests it does. He finds satisfaction in improving his camp, making the cave bigger, getting his life organized. This sense of purpose and order seems to provide some comfort and helps him adapt.
So these initial experiences, they really set the stage, don't they?
Absolutely. From that raw survival shock to building a life, however basic, it shows incredible adaptation.
Okay, let's pull this together for you, the learner. What are the big takeaways from Crusoe's first, say, year or so on the island, based on this text?
Well, first and foremost, it's that adaptability, isn't it?
Right.
He wasn't born a survivalist. He came from comfort. But he learned incredibly quickly how to use what little he had. The ship's wreckage was crucial, obviously, but also just observing, trying things like building the fence or finding the goats.
And resourcefulness goes hand in hand with that. Making the raft, digging the cave, even thinking to keep the lion's skin. It's about seeing potential in things.
Definitely. But maybe just as important is the psychological struggle. It's not just about finding food and shelter. It's about battling fear, loneliness, despair.
Right. That conscious effort to list the good things. Making the calendar. Those weren't physical survival tasks. They were mental survival tactics. Building resilience from the inside out.
Precisely. Resilience isn't just toughness, it's also about how you manage your own mind in a crisis. He had to find reasons to keep going, to find value in his efforts.
And something that really strikes me thinking about it is the sheer effort involved. We read, he built a raft, or he dug a cave. But imagine the physical labor, the time, the trial and error, with basic tools or maybe no tools at first.
Oh, absolutely. It underscores this incredible human drive to not just survive, but to improve, to build, to create order, even when you're starting from absolute scratch. It's pretty amazing, actually.
So here's a connection for you. You probably won't get shipwrecked, thankfully. But think about those times when your own world gets shaken up unexpectedly. A job loss, a sudden move, a relationship ending. What are your tools?
Yeah, what skills, what mindset, what relationships do you rely on to adapt? When your normal structure disappears, how do you start rebuilding? Crusoe had to use wreckage and ingenuity. What do you use?
It's fascinating, too, that his whole story starts because he wanted to see the world break free.
Mm.
And yet, his most profound journey, arguably, happens when he's completely trapped, forced into isolation.
That's a really key insight. The external adventure led him ultimately to an intense internal one. He discovered capabilities and perhaps limitations he never knew he had.
Which leaves us with a final thought to chew on. What unexpected discoveries might be waiting for you in those quieter moments, or times when you're forced off your usual path? Sometimes the biggest adventures are the ones we don't plan.
Well said. It's the journey within that solitude often forces.
Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
My pleasure.
We'll catch you on the next one.